What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to talk about the Nikon D5100 and see if it's still good in 2022 and so on. And you know what? Yes, of course it is. It is still an amazing camera to use, especially if you have one. And if you don't, check out my review on this D5100 right now. Released back in spring of 2011, this makes the Nikon D5100 an 11-year-old camera in 2022. Despite its age, it's still really good. It has a 16 megapixel APS-C crop sensor. It has 11 autofocus points, and it also does video recording. Going straight to the good stuff about it, I do like that this D5100 has video recording, so it does record video. And this camera is actually pretty good in low light situations too. And the ISO ranges from ISO 100 all the way up to high 2, which is about 25,600. I wouldn't mind using between ISO 1000 to 6400, but that also really depends on your lighting situation, and that's just saying how capable of a camera this is. And I know that like above ISO 2000 it gets a little grainy, but then again, like I said, it really depends on the lighting situation. I don't mind it if I'm between ISO 2000 to 6400, depending on how much light you use. Those images are still really good. It's grainy, but it's still usable. Another great thing I really like about this camera is the articulating screen. All the Nikon D5000 series had it. The D5000, D5100, 52, 53, and the 55 all have articulating screens. Going back to the image quality, put a good lens on this like the Nikon 35mm 1.8 GTX, or my favorite, the 51mm 1.8G, and it's gonna give you some really nice pictures like this. Going to one of the bad stuff about this camera is that it does have only one memory card slot. And the video autofocus isn't the best, especially if you don't have a Nikon lens on it. For an example, here I'm just walking around with the Sigma 10-20 at 10mm wide open. It is hard to see if my face is actually in focus. I'm assuming with a Nikon wide lens like the 10-20, it will focus on my face faster, but with a Sigma, I'm just not sure via the screen. Not really a bad thing. You can't use the older Nikon D lenses on it, so if you have the Nikon 51.8D lens, any of the D lens, it will not autofocus unless it is an AFS lens. So yeah, overall the D5100 is still an excellent camera, especially if you have one. It took me a while to find this D5100. I can see why D5100 owners really like this camera. And if you do have one, comment below because I would like to hear your experiences with it. I had my D90 and I also had a D5000. And like I said earlier, I really like that the D5000 series all had articulating screens. I really like the articulating screens because you can actually compose your shots if you're at awkward situations or if you're just trying to get a certain composition. The articulating screen really helps because you can just flip it over, and if you're down low you can just flip it to yourself, flip it down so you can just see it right above it, and it's just really nice. And the LCD screen is actually pretty good. It's definitely an upgrade from my D3100, and the only downside is like if you're making adjustments on the live view, you're not going to see those adjustments. So if you're switching your aperture, your shutter speed, your ISO, you're not going to see that live like my Z6 or the Z50, where if you're making shutter speed changes or the aperture changes, you can see those changes on live view. On the D5100, you will not see those changes. If you have any questions about the D5100, please comment below and I'll try my best to help. And if you have one, please let me know because I want to hear your experiences with the D5100 as well. Like I said, I love the 50mm 1.8G on this camera. I've shared my other lenses that I like. If you're interested in watching it, check out my other videos. And that's all I have to say about the Nikon D5100. I really appreciate you watching. If you have it, keep it. If you don't have it and you're still on a budget, I still think the D5100 is still a decent camera to get right now, especially if the Z30 or the Z50 is out of your range. A D5100 for starters is good, especially if you want to do vlogging or videos. It's okay, especially if those new mirrorless cameras are out of your range. You can get the D5100 and rock with that. Again, I want to say thanks for watching this video and stay tuned for more D5100 videos. Thanks again everyone. See ya. Right now I am using the Sigma 10-20. You can see a red box around my face, but I really don't know if it's autofocusing onto my face. So that's only the downside of this. I can't see or tell if it's autofocused on my face, and it looks like it's a little dark. I can put it onto auto ISO. Let me see if that works. Oh, it's not working, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Here we go onto auto mode. Oof, okay, so this is in auto mode. Right now the aperture is at f9 and it is actually tracking my face. That's pretty cool. That's really interesting. There it goes. There it goes. As you can see, it is just following my face here. It's awkward. I'm trying to get the light, but it doesn't know how to contrast it between the highs and the lows with the shadows. But as you can see, it's following my face. There you go. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool.